Chair, this is question number 53 of 2022 to the Cabinet Secretary for Interior and Coordination of National Government. Could the Cabinet Secretary provide specific details of the parcel of land located in Laikipia County, which he claimed is owned by the Deputy President during his appearance before the Departmental Committee on Administration and National Security on 1st September 2021, including the land reference number or numbers, size, date of acquisition, and the previous owners. Thank you, Chair.
Yes. And as I said, I would like to table a document which will support the response I'm going to give. As you know, Mr. Chairman, we don't keep at the Ministry of Interior land records and details of land procedures and ownerships. What we keep are correspondences in relation to postings of security officers where they are supposed to or where we have been requested to, and that is what happened in the case of the 15,000-acre Mutara farm in Laikipia. We have, however, following the question, asked the Ministry of Lands, and if you allow me, I'll table a document of demonstrating our correspondence with the Ministry to supply us, because they keep the files of both the Ministry of Lands and the ADC with the details of the land and the history of the same, so that we can bring it to this committee. So as soon as this letter is responded to, Mr. Chairman, I will dutifully bring all that information to the committee.
So can we get that tabled?
It 2 times, because it elapsed in the other session, and it was directed by the Speaker that I should be answered. And therefore, I think it have, or at least 1 year.
I'm trying to relate to the dates. So then, because why I'm asking, Honorable Cs, is that I see a letter from your office written on 13th October last year. We are now in sometime in April, and there's no response. So the question is, there's somebody who either is not working, or we don't know whether that's how government works in terms of response time. That's getting to 6 months.
Mr. Chairman, I can't cast aspersions on my colleagues at the Ministry of Lands. Allow me to write another reminder to them, then I can make a conclusion thereafter. Because the truth of the matter, to also be fair to them, is that if the land in question, for example, was a lease from the ADC, then it will be an interministerial effort. It will not just be the Ministry of Lands. Those records are held by both the Ministry of Lands and the Ministry of Agriculture, and as you know, ADC is a parastatal. And when it comes to public property, it will also bring in the National Land Commission. It's probable that the workings are on the way to give us the answer, and I think all I will promise the committee is that later today or tomorrow, I will make a request for a follow-up of the matter, because at the end of it, as I said, at the Ministry of Interior, we don't keep files of land and land transactions. And so if I brought an answer here, it will not be as factual as the Honourable Member of Parliament wants, because he has even asked the history of the ownership of the land and everything else. To construct that, you will have to read through the file. So let's give my colleagues the benefit of doubt. I will send them a reminder, and I will share that with you, Mr. Chairman, and the committee, and we will follow up the matter. We are committed to ensuring that the right thing is done and the committee is properly informed.
And if I may ask, has there been acknowledgement of this or receipt of this letter with a promise that they are working on it, or they just went quiet?
No, it's possible there has been a response. I just brought that copy. I'm sure there could be a response in the file. I need to check that, because I've been tracking the questions, and that was what we filed immediately. We received the question from Parliament. I will check again with my colleagues in the office, but I'm sure we can expedite the process. We would even cause a meeting between us, an interministerial discussion between us and the departments involved, and we'll respond accordingly.
And especially so knowing that you are heading that interministerial team, or you are coordinating the efforts of government. Last time I checked, that's what you are.
Mr. Chairman, I undertake that I will cause my colleagues to move their feet fast enough to cause a response to the committee. You know we are always very dutiful to you and very responsible to you. And also at the same time, you know we have a duty to give you accurate information and give you everything you need. All these are public things. If we hold any information, it's held in public trust. So we have no reason not to give you the information. I am sure that probably my colleagues are working on this, and all I'm seeking is the indulgence of the committee so that I engage my colleagues so that we can expedite the answer. Sometimes these things happen, Mr. Chairman. Even in agencies that are in my ministry alone, it takes time to get some facts together to respond to a question. But I am not excusing for them. Allow me to engage with them, and I'll keep you updated every step of the way.
Yes, I'll allow Honorable Sankok to do some intervention.
Chair, first of all, the CS is totally ungenuine and is lying. Because if he says that his ministry does not keep records, Mr. Matiangi, where did you get the information that the land is owned by the Deputy President? Because on answer, you said that you are sure and it is owned by the Deputy President on 1st September 2021. So if you can say that it is owned by the Deputy President, now you come and say that you don't have, you don't keep files of ownership of land. Where did you get the ownership, the status of that particular land? Again, Chair, I think to be fair to me, and you know it because you have been following it, and Adan can confirm, your clerk, that I have been called a record 7 times to get a response from this ministry, from Mr. Matiangi. And I've come 7 times. This is the 8th time. Every day it is an excuse after another one until this question expired. But you know, Chair, such pronunciation by the CS that there is a land, 15,000 acres owned by the Deputy President, and the Deputy President claimed that he does not own that land, and that Mr. Matiangi can go ahead and dish it to the landless people of Laikipia. It is something that attracts public interest, and that is why I decided to follow up, so that Matiangi can just tell us he lied, he did not have the information, so he does not even know the owner of the land. Because today, he does not know. But on 1st September, he knew who owned the land. So, Chair, to be fair to me, I think even if they are writing letters, surely, you want me to come a record 9 times. And it is just very simple. Just the same way you said on answered that you claim that the Deputy President owned that land. You can as well withdraw from the answer and apologize to the Deputy President that you lied against him. And these things it is resolved. But if you have the fact, table them now, because you tabled them on 1st September.
Mr. Chairman, with tremendous respect to the Honourable Member of Parliament and to this committee, as public servants, we do not engage in inaccurate information and in politics. What I was asked to do by the Security Committee on 1st of September 2021 is to answer the question about the deployment of security to His Excellency the Deputy President. And during the outlining of the deployment of security, I pointed out areas where we had deployed security in association with the security of the Deputy President. I was not before this committee to talk about the property and what the Deputy President owns. So I am happy that you have ruled that reference should be made to the Hansard, because I think, with tremendous respect, all that is being said here is plainly inaccurate and untrue. Because what I presented to this committee, and I think it's in writing, is areas where we have made deployments of security in association with the Deputy President. There was no presentation from our ministry on what the Deputy President owns or doesn't own. That's not what I was asked to do in this committee. I was asked to say, have we provided sufficient security to the Deputy President? Yes. And I demonstrated where we have made the deployments in association with the Deputy President. And in that association, there is no insinuation that he owns the land. He could be going on there to visit friends or whatever the case may be, or he frequents the place. If you, as a Minister of Security, are asked to deploy security to prepare and to protect the Deputy President, that is what I outlined. And there is correspondence, by the way, Mr. Chairman, which I can bring to the committee on some of these issues. So I don't want to engage in what looks like a political issue. As a public servant, I'm required to provide the information I'm asked of the committee. I provided information in writing on the 1st of September. I am prepared to bring further information in writing here in respect of this question, and I do not think it is fair for either me or anyone else to impute improper motive on the part of us public servants.
All right, I hear you, CS, but I'm interested to know that last part which you said, that you normally have evidence of request for security, and especially from such senior government official.
I will table, not particularly here because I wasn't prepared to bring it. I didn't know that you'd be asking to do this.
Not now,
yeah,
but because we are engaging, and I can see we shall engage from now going into the future.
Yeah, whatever the committee requires of me in terms of sharing information on this particular issue, we will table whatever we have. Because in any case, as I said, this is not private information. This is public information. If we are asked or advised by our security officials on particular deployments and so on, or we are advised by our counter security teams to provide security in a particular place because of certain things, that is correspondence I can avail to you if it's so required to explain why I deployed security in that particular place.
Matiangi, I have been excited by the fact that he has been illegally allocated duties that the Constitution had allocated to the Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya as a principal advisor to the President. And I can assure him, don't be excited, because that is an illegality. The Kenyans elected Uhuru Kenyatta to be deputized by William Ruto as conjoined twins, for the president to use presidential order to mutilate the Constitution. That matter is a matter that we will revisit on a later date, because you can't use presidential orders to mutilate our Constitution and use BBI, a null and void document, to try and mutilate our Constitution. It is only because we were saved by the very competent, trustworthy judiciary. So therefore, Mr. Matiangi, don't get so much excited to the fact that you come and lie against the person you have illegally and unconstitutionally taken over their role. I think it is enough that you have taken the role of the Deputy President, but to lie against him is even against the Bible. Because in Proverbs 19:9, it is stated very clearly that all false witness will not go unpunished, and that the mouth that breathes lies will perish. Mr. Matiangi, you will perish because you know that you are lying, that the Deputy President own 15,000 acres of land in Laikipia. You are doing politics, you are lying, you are trying to politically character assassinate the persona of the Deputy President, whom unconstitutionally you have been assigned his duties, his roles. But time is coming, 4 months' time, our president will be a former president, we will revisit.